Okay, so I found out that there's a program going on with United Way, so I reached out to Chris Olsen. Chris, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, Chris Olsen. My wife and I, we own two businesses downtown. Ventures Apparel, which I'm standing in right now with the nice brick wall behind me. And then we have Northwoods Promotions, which does some screen printing, embroidery, and some promo stuff. We have what we call the old mini mall. Everybody remembers the old mini mall if you grew up in Rice Lake. And well, before that, it was Woolworths. So when people come in, we know whatever you call the building, we know exactly your age. So you don't have to tell us.
Yeah.
So we're downtown. We've been downtown about 5 years. Just enjoy the downtown and get involved. I see Tony across the street all the time because he's right across from me. So I look at his blue car every single day.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, and that's one of the things I reached out for, like you said, was the fact that I know you're part of the Main Street Association, and we've known each other a while because Cub Scouts and all these other things that you're really active in. You're like me, you don't really know when to say no and you get involved, but that's what it's all about.
I get in a lot of trouble at home because I tend not to say no. Somebody asks me, hey, you want to get on this board? Sure, why not? Then the pillows talk starts and I learn I can't join everything and say yes. But so I'm on the Main Street Association, and we have a new Main Street director, so lots of stuff's changing over the next year to 2 years with new ideas coming in. So we're really excited for that. The Cub Scouts, we always contact you for sure to get all of our trophies for the Pinewood Derby every single year, and that's one of the highlights of being in Scouts is watching those little kids with the Pinewood Derby cars. And
I know it's pretty awesome. Fun. Yeah, no kidding. And like last year, they did the wine walk downtown, and that was a huge success. So
it was unbelievable. It was the first time we'd ever tried it. And so we put it together. We figured, okay, we'll do 150 glasses. We put it online, and then we had 40 tickets in the store here that people come in and pay cash.
Right.
The day after we announced it, Kiana came over and said, I need to take some of your tickets back because we sold out online. And it was unbelievable. And I'll make it just a fun joke. I was the bartender here, and I served 147 women and 3 men. I mean, for me, it was a wonderful evening. I had a great time. Well, all I had to do was pour a little glass of wine and just talk to a bunch of ladies that are coming in to buy clothing.
Yeah, I stood across the way, and in fact, I didn't even have to bartend. I just talked. That was it.
No, it was a great time. So I know we are from the board level, and Kiana, we're looking as soon as we can get things open back up.
Right.
We want to get another wine walk scheduled to get people back downtown, to get people back into businesses, and because some of the businesses they frankly do need some help. So we're looking to do a wine walk. I think everybody's ready to get out and just socialize. So as soon
absolutely,
as we can do that.
Yeah, and one of the, like I said, the reason we sat down or we got together tonight was to talk about the United Way and the COVID-19 project that you're spearheading. So why don't you give us a little information about that?
Well, about 4 weeks ago, the county contacted the United Way, and it was kind of out of the blue. We didn't know why, but the county had been contacted by a financial group down in Illinois. And apparently there's a philanthropist somewhere down there that wanted to give some money to the county for a COVID relief fund. And we went, oh, okay. So they contacted us because technically the county can't take money for donations. It's part of the state laws. So they contacted the local United Way, and we have a local board. We're all volunteers, and they said, could you guys funnel the money? And we're like, yeah, we're the 501c3. We absolutely can. Right now we fund 20 different agencies. We do our big Holly auction every year. Right. I said, sure, let's figure this out. So since we were closed, I didn't have a whole lot else to do. So I said, okay, let me run with this. So what we did was we created a subcommittee, and we partnered with Barron County Public Health. And so there are 5 of us on a committee, and one person is from public health. Now, what we decided in the committee was, where can these funds go, and what kind of funds are we going to get? Right. Well, from the advice of the county, we said, where they told us, you know what, in the future, the food banks are going to need some help because so many people are laid off, that the food banks are going to get taxed. Some of the companies that donate to the food banks are cutting back on donations. So they're predicting that, down the road, it may not be like tomorrow or next week, but down the road, you're going to have a depletion of supplies. And so we created this COVID-19 relief fund, and we put it out there. We got it on GoFundMe. You can send it to our P.O. Box 325 in Rice Lake to the United Way. And I pick up the mail every day for the United Way. So, and if you do get it, you send something in, you know what? You're going to get a personal thank you from me. Nice written note.
Nice.
But when they decided to do this, we said, okay, how are we going to do it? Well, what we decided was as funds come in, we have a bank account, and the crew at Dairy State was good enough to donate funds, the employees, to start the bank account. So we had the minimum amount. We started that fund, and then once we put it out there, dollars started coming in. Now, Human Services and Public Health, we have a meeting every Monday, and they give us an update on where all the food banks are at. And there are 10 registered food banks in Barron County.
Right.
And once those, they call each food bank, go, okay, are you okay? And they say yes, they don't have to worry. If they say, you know what, we need to buy about $250 worth of food, well, then they contact us, and the same day we cut a check, and basically the next day they have the money in hand.
Wow.
There's no waiting,
Wow.
And one of the board members will just run it over to Turtle Lake or Cumberland or Rice Lake or whatever.
Sure.
So it's great. And so, we don't know how this is going to go. But I'll tell you what, the people in the community are unbelievable, because we've had checks of $2,500 or $25 up to $500, personal checks of people just writing a check, COVID relief fund for United Way. And we're going, I opened one up the other day and I went, $500, holy buckets. I was excited.
Absolutely. It's I've said this on many of my videos, and it's amazing how people have come together. They've had to do it a different way. And that's why I started the Local Heroes deal, which is separate than these videos, but just people that have done stuff, went above and beyond. And I know that it is, it's P.O. Box 235. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. 235.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to get this video out as soon as possible. Hopefully we can, get a few more donations made. Also, as we were talking just before we started recording, Tony Evers, Governor Evers, has lifted everything, and everything is a little bit more back to normal, but everything has to be done within reason. I know Chris Fitzgerald, the sheriff, has put out a statement, and I know the Rice Lake Police Department has put out a statement in this area. So obviously we ask everybody to just try to do a little bit of investigating on what they can do and what they can't do. Obviously we want to just still practice social distancing, to just be aware of everything that's going on right now. But the United Way project sounds like a great project, Chris.
Oh, it is. And, and we've actually had some businesses step up. Just today, the announcement will go out probably tomorrow. Johnson Financial Group donated $2,500.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh, yeah. We were like, holy cow. We put everything together and signed everything up on the United Way worldwide site so that they could do it down in Milwaukee. And we got the call like 4 days later that Craig Hokinson, at the regional president up here,
yep,
he's ready to make a presentation at our board meeting on Tuesday evening. And so last evening he did the presentation for $2,500 from Johnson Bank. And then Johnson Bank additionally opened up to all the employees, if they want to do personal donations, they will funnel it to the COVID relief fund too in this area. So, I mean,
fantastic.
Yeah. And then we have one that will be coming out next week, 3M. 3M has a large donation, and they partner with United Way. And we are going to be, actually, I received the check already and it's in the bank, but they donated $11,500 to the fund.
Wow. Wow. It is.
Yeah. So,
it is amazing.
If anybody out there knows anybody at the 3M plant in Cumberland, follow social distancing, but once that's gone, give them a big hug, please. That's unbelievable. So, we have all these small donations of people that, they're just coming out of the woodwork, and then the corporate donations. So I'm just pleased as can be. And, in 2 weeks, we have, well over 10 grand sitting in the bank, ready for the food banks, which is awesome.
It is like you said, it's really going to a good cause. You got 5 or so people on the board, I think you said, and then it is remarkable how these businesses and individuals are coming together to help out United Way. It is
it's absolutely wonderful. We are pleased beyond belief, and we did not know how this would go. We really didn't. We didn't know if we would go to the P.O. box and not see a single thing, because of the situation that we're in.
Right.
So many people laid off. But I'll tell you what, I think people they know that if they write a check, it's going through the United Way, the local United Way. All the board members live in Rice Lake. We all know, we know everybody.
Yeah.
And we are going to handle the money correctly, and it's going to go right to the food banks, and it's going to go right to somebody that needs food. It's going to feed a family. You can't get any more basic than that.
Yep, there's 10 food pantries in the area, in this county, and it's all going to those people for a good cause. And you guys are doing a great job, just trying to help out as much as you can. And it takes all of us to pull together. Again, I just wanted to bring light to it. Saw this thing, scrolling through Facebook, I checked it out, reached out to actually Ann Gallagher, who sent me to you. Yep. And I'm like, okay, this is amazing. This is a great organization anyway, United Way in general. But to be able to do something for this county directly has been fantastic.
Yeah, and the fact that from the day it started, it was literally 7 days later, we had our fund up and going, and checks coming in and registered with the United Way Worldwide. We have a microsite out there so that other counties, if they see something with Barron County, they can donate to us. So, it was in 7 days, we went from nothing to having this whole thing set up and a plan in place. We wrote bylaws, everything else. It was actually fun, It was like emergency response, except on the charitable side, the emergency services side.
Right. It is. It's obviously a pleasure to get together, Chris, talk about this. I don't know if we could have enough time to list all the things you are a part of, but I really, really appreciate everything you do for this community. I see it directly, like you said. We're obviously across the street from each other when I'm at Allstate, but and through the trophy shop with the trophies. But it's become this situation where, again, we're just helping out. All these small businesses are coming together. All these big businesses are helping out, and but it takes somebody to lead it, and we just appreciate it.
Oh, thanks. It's fun. I enjoy it, and I'll get in trouble again when I say yes to my next committee or next board at home, but so be it. It's enjoyable.
Well, tell your wife I said thank you.
Oh, I will.
And I appreciate you sitting down with me for a few minutes. We'll get the word out as soon as possible, and maybe we can, raise a little bit more money for the area. Again, P.O. Box 235, Rice Lake, United Way. Going to go to the
United Way, and just make sure it just says COVID somewhere on there, and we'll make sure it gets to one of the food pantries.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you much, Tony. I appreciate you having me on.
You bet. Take care now.
Thanks.